Hello everyone, Amanda here. So I'm here with part 2 tutorial of my vintage seamstress folio. So part 1 will be linked below, where I do a walkthrough of this and tell you the important information. Also the cutting guide is over on my Ko-fi, that's linked below. It is free, or you can download it from my Facebook group, also linked below. Okay, so I have pre-cut and scored and added tape to all of my components. So following the cutting guide, we are on page 1. So we added the large pocket in the last tutorial on the inside cover, inside back cover, and on the outer of the back cover. So that is now your back. So this is your front, so it's plain with nothing on. So when you open it, we don't count this as a page because that's the cover. This is page 1, okay? So we're going to work on page 1. So let me just find all of my parts for page 1. Bear with me. 2, so we're page 1. So if we look at the cutting guide, we've got a large flap, a small flap, and a bottom pocket. Okay, so let me find that part 4. Page 1. There we go. Okay. Right, so you've got a long side flip, a small flap, and a bottom pocket if you refer to the cutting guide. So we've done the scoring, we've added the tape. I have mitered the flap and I've mitered the long side flip, okay? It tells you where to score. So I'm just going to show you on this one pocket how to miter across on 2 score lines. The rest I've pre-done, and I did do every single one on the first video. So if you're unsure, go and watch that first video. So I'm only going to do it on this, and then the rest I've pre-done. So let me just move this out of the way. So this is the bottom pocket for page 1. So you've got 1/2 inch score line there and 1/2 inch score line there. Where they cross, you've got an X. So you cut straight across the X on both sides. Okay. And then you do your folding and your burnishing. Just get my burnishing tool. And if you watch part 1, I've explained the importance of making sure that these parts, when you cut them, don't overlap. Okay, so if they overlap, trim a sliver off at a time until they don't overlap any longer. Right, so this is the bottom pocket. So page 1, so the bottom pocket goes on the bottom. So I'll remove my tape. Okay, we'll see how far we get. Okay, I might just try and do it all in one video, but I don't know if I might split it to 2. So when you're adding these, they measured the full size of the pages without any increments. So you want to always start at the far corner. Don't start at the edge there, at the folding edge. Always start at the corner, at the, you know, the edge of the page. So I'm just going to turn it upside down. So you're lining up, first of all, line up the corner of your page with the corner of your pocket. And once you've got that lined up perfectly, okay, and lined up against the corresponding edge, okay, alright, then it will line up against the bottom. Alright, now some people might find it easier to add these before they stick this central page part in. It's up to you, okay? Up to you how you do it. So that's this bottom pocket. Then we've got the large side flap. So you want to fold your score mark and burnish. Don't forget you will have mitered those corners, okay? So then remove your tape. Now this is going to stick on the back. So this is page 1, this is going to attach to the back so that it's, you know, a flip. Alright, so you've got your scored line there, so that gives you a guide. Now this is smaller than the page, okay? It's not the same length as the page. Now it's up to you where you want to situate it. I had mine kind of centralised. You can have it from the top if you like. It's up to you. You can have it going from the bottom or you can have it centralised. I'm just going to centralise mine. And what you want to do is you want to just get it so that it's that page is just up against the score line but not over it, okay? Mine's a little bit skew with, but it's too late. So just take your time, okay? And mine's just centralised like that. Alright, then you've got your small flap here, and you've got your score and you've mitered. Alright, follow the cutting guide so you know where to score. It's all there for you. Fold and burnish, okay? Remove your tape. Now this section here will go direct onto your, it'll lay direct onto your page. So have a look where, fold that one closed and this one goes over the top. So have a look whereabouts you want it. How did I have mine? So let me just visually show you. So it goes like that and then like that, okay? So that's how I had mine. Or you can obviously have that over the top. It's up to you, okay? So just think where you want this section. But you don't want it lower than your pocket. That's why we've added the pocket first. So make sure it's above the pocket. Okay. So I'm going to have mine. And you want to adhere it, not right on the fold, just slightly away. Okay. So I'm going to have mine. I'm going to have mine so that it just nearly touches the edge of that pocket there. Okay. Alright, just let me concentrate. There we go. And that's where that attaches. Okay. Now it'll lay flatter the more you fold it, and when you've added your paper and stuff, it'll lay flatter. Okay. If you want to add a closure, you can. I haven't on mine because once you've layered it with your papers, etc., it's not necessary. Okay. So that's page 1 finished, I believe. 1, 2, 3 sections. So now if you turn over, this is page 2. Okay. So page 2, let me find my pieces. Let me just get, I'm just going to pause a moment while I put my pieces into order. So this is a visual reference to page 2. So you've got a flap that folds up like that. You've got a slanted pocket and a small pocket. Okay, so that means if you follow your cutting guide, you've got 3 pieces. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the large flat piece. We've tapered the edge at the top where the tape goes. Okay, so your tape goes on this 1/2 inch score mark at the top. Alright, so we're going to fold that and burnish. And then you've got a second score mark which also you're going to fold under and burnish. Now when this is in your folio, because these are exactly the same size, these 2 panels, you may want to either round your corners or trim a sliver off so that it closes neatly. Okay, so just for quickness for the video, I'm going to just cut a sliver, and when I say a sliver, I just mean literally a tiny bit. Okay, just so that when you fold in it like that, it doesn't catch. Alright, on my original one I just rounded the corners, but then I decided I didn't like it. So page 2, here we go. So this goes on the top. Give that a really good burnish. Okie dokie. Now this I have I cut it exactly the same size? Let me have a look. Yeah, so this is the same size as the page in width. So again, you want to start at the corner, not at the scored, you know, where it folds. Okay, and so very carefully, I'm just going to turn mine upside down. Okay, just because it's easier for me with the bright lights to see what I'm doing. Okay, so line it up with the corner of your page, and then line it up with the top edge and press. Alright, so that's your double flap. Alright, we're just going to fold that up and out of the way for now, And then we have 2 more pieces. Now one's called a slant pocket. You've got a 1/2 inch score line on all 3 sides. So what you want to do, if you just want a straight pocket, you can just have a straight pocket. If you want a slanted pocket, what you want to do is you want to measure from the top down on the right hand side. You want to make a pencil mark at 1.5 inches or 1 inch, whatever you prefer. I wanted mine quite deep, so I did it at 1.5, but 1 would be enough. Okay, so I'm just going to make a pencil mark there. Can you see? There. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put it in my trimmer, and we want to cut from this score line here, where the top point of that score line is. We want to cut in a slant down to there. Now you can draw it with a ruler and do it if you want, and then cut it with scissors. It's not a problem. Okay, I'm just going to use my trimmer. Alright, so I'm lining up the score line with the pencil mark. Okay, that's what we're aiming for. So take your time and then just cut, and that creates your slanted pocket. Okay, then all you need to do is fold your sides over. Now on this side, when you fold it over, it's going to protrude there. So what you want to do is just grab your scissors and just cut it so that it doesn't protrude anymore. Then fold the bottom under on the score line. Give them all a burnish. And then check where you've done your mitering that they don't overlap. Okay, because if they overlap, then it's going to be bulky. Mine just overlaps ever so slightly on that side, so I'm just going to trim a tiny sliver off, not a lot, just a tiny sliver. Okay, and then double check, and that all folds nicely. So I'm going to give it another really firm burnish, and burnishing is so important because it will make it sit flat. Okay, nice, you want it nice and flat on your page, because it's not a mini album with hinges and chipboard. You know, we want it to be nice and flush and flat. Okay, so then we remove the tape. Come on, you slippery little sucker. I'm using Score Pal tape. It's not cheap, I will tell you. I normally have only ever used cheap score tape before, and I tell you what, you can tell the difference. It's expensive, and I got it really for when I start to make larger albums, but I thought I'd try it and see what it's like. It's awesome. However, it is very, very sticky, so you've got to be careful, because once it's on, you're not getting it off. Okay, you can use glue, absolutely you can. I'm using tape for the video because it's quicker. So this slanted pocket goes at the bottom. Again, it's the full length, so again we want to start at the outer corner. Okay, so start at the outer corner. Okay, get that as flush as you can, then get it lined up with the edge, and then it should just line up with the bottom and line up there. Okay, now as we're adding these pockets, it's adding strength to the pages. Okay, so here we've got a flip, that's going to add strength to the edge of that page. That pocket there is adding strength to the bottom. This pocket here is adding strength to the cover. Okay, it's just a little cardstock folio. This is why we've not used chipboard. We don't even need to wrap the folio with any paper. All you need to do is layer on afterwards. Okay, so that's why this is a good beginner style project, because you know, you're just getting used to where things go, and you're doing your mitering and etc, and getting used to your measurements, and it's a good starter project. Okay, I will be doing other things as we go, and as we go things will get a little bit more I'm not going to say difficult, a bit more stepped up. Right, so that's just a little tiny bit off there needed. Let me check this one. tiny little bit off there. Okay. So I'm just going to really firmly burnish. So this little pocket is just literally going to sit on top of that slanted pocket. Super simple. Let me just make sure I'm all straight and I'm in shot. And so don't forget to go and download the cutting guide. Now the benefit of the cutting guide is you can print it out at home and you can keep hold of it. You don't have to keep referring back to the video. You can make it time and time again. And you know, also it saves me from giving you out saying 1/4 of an inch when I mean 1/2 an inch on my videos. So again, we're going to start right from the far corner and line the corners up first. Okay, so line the corner and the side up on top of the pocket. Okay, don't worry if it's not perfect. It's a beginner project, and if it's the first time you've ever made a folio, you'll get better with practice. Okay, don't worry about it. So that has now given us a pocket there, and that double flap. Okay, now you will keep that closed by putting a tag or a journaling card in there. Right, so now we're on to page 3. Let me just pick up some of this tape so that I'm not getting in a hot mess. Page 3, so let me show you page 3. So page 3 is a little bit more complicated. So we've got a pocket, and then we've got a side flip. We've got the bottom one that folds out to 3 like so, and then we've got a top normal flip, and then we've got a pocket in there. Okay, so so that's page 3 bottom flip, page 3 that is going to attach to the side, page 3 top flap, and page 3 bottom pocket. Right, so let me just remind myself what I did first. So first of all, we want to do our bottom flip because we're going to layer the pocket over the top. Right, so bottom flip. Okay, so we've got a 1/2 inch score line there with the tape on, so that one's folding and burnishing, and you're going to attach it to the bottom of the page. Then you've got 2 score lines here. Now these need folding and take time with them, because they just give you a little bit of a kind of a gusset, because you're going to be folding and folding more than one section, so you need a little bit of a gusset in between, otherwise it won't lay right. Okay, so that's only is it 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch? It's only 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so take your time folding it, just do it carefully. Okay, but it's really important that that's there so that those flaps sit nicely on top of each other. Okay, so do one and then carefully do the second. Okay, and then burnish. Alright, and then you've got a tiny little gusset there. So only small, but it's necessary. Okay, so just give that a burnish a couple of times. If you've got decent cardstock, it shouldn't crack and it shouldn't be a problem. So then you've got that little, can you see the little gusset there? It just means everything's going to sit nicely. So then where you've got your tape at the top, where you've folded it over, that's going to attach to the bottom. Okay, so we'll do that now, and then you can see the direction of where I'm going. Because let me just remind myself where that other one goes. So let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, right. So we remove his tape. Okay. And this one I have cut ever so slightly smaller than the page, okay, to make it easier for ourselves. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, as we're attaching it to the bottom, we're just going to by eye centralise it. Okay, oops, centralise it but get it flush with the bottom. Okay, it's not centred, Amanda, it's never seen centred that. Alright, so just take your time. Just get that centred. It's difficult to see the black cardstock with my big filming lights, you see, so okay, there we go. And the reason why we've got it a little bit smaller than the page is because we're going to add this extra flap on the side, and we don't want that catching on our fold, so I've just left a small gap, okay, very small gap, so that this will fold in nicely and not be in the way. Okay, so that's why we've done that. So now let me just remind myself. Okay, I've folded this all the wrong way, so it needs to be folding downwards, does it? Yeah. So when you attach it with these score marks here, then that needs to fold down. Okay, so then if you fold that up, then this one will attach to here. Okay, so fold your score mark and burnish. You will mitre your edges, remove your tape, and it attaches to the inside. So that's going to fold down when you've done. So lift it up and it's going on the inside of the top one. Okay, I hope that's clear. Alright, I've put my tape on the wrong side, haven't I? I put my tape on the wrong side. Just bear with me, I've cut mine the wrong way. Just bear with me. Back. So I haven't cut it the wrong way, I've just got the wrong piece. So this is the top flip. Okay, so this is the part that goes on here. Sorry, I didn't read my own writing properly. There you go. So fold the score line, it's going to go on the inside there. Okay, now this fits perfect, so you want to go corner and down to the edge. I can read my own writing. Oh, at least I hadn't cut it right. I'd cut it perfect. I hadn't cut it wrong. I'd cut it perfect. I just picked up the wrong piece. That's why it's really important to label them and read them carefully before you stick them on. Right, so we're going to stick this on top corner. Okay. Down the edge. Carefully. And attach. Okay, so then you've got that flip, so that flips in there and then it flips down. Okay, hopefully you understand that. So we've added it on there at the bottom, it lifts up, and then where you've got your two score marks, you fold them so that that piece folds down, and then we've attached this piece on the inside on the top panel. Right, so this is your top flap, so you will have mitered that and fold and burnish your edge, and then this goes along the top. Now again, this one is ever so slightly smaller, so what you want to do is, and how I do it is, I weight that one down because you want this to line up with that as best you can. Okay, so before you stick it down, just line it up like that at the bottom of it, okay, so that you've got it lined. And then have a look at the top. Okay, now if you're using glue, it is a little bit easier because you've got wiggle room for lining up. Okay, let me just have a look before I commit. That's more or less, and that goes on the top like so. Okay, now don't forget, it doesn't matter if these flap about a bit because the next page that we're going to add on is going to weight that down. Alright, so that's your top flap. That and that. Okay, so now you've got your, where's my long section gone? Bear with me. Page 3, where's it gone? Here we go, long side flip. Right, so this is on your cutting guide, the long side flip. So you've got your a 1/2 inch score mark, and then you've got a 1/4 inch score mark. So fold those score marks over, both of them, okay, and burnish them really well. Probably easier to do the small one first and then do the half one, but of course I do like to make my life difficult. It's just how it is in Amanda Land. Okay, then you want to remove the tape. Now I believe this one is the full length of the page. Let me just check. Yeah, so this one's the full length of the page, so you only want to attach that 1/2 inch there. Okay, so. And this is going to attach to the back of page 2. So it's going to just attach to the back there. Alright, so get your page like so. Use the score line as your guide and butt the edge of here up to the score line, but not right on it, okay? So start at one side, get it lined up, and then all the way down. Okay, don't go over that score line, it wants to just be touching it. Mine's a little bit too close. Oh, and this tape's so strong. It'll be fine because I've got the gusset as well. Okay, and that will fold over, but you've got that 1/4 inch gusset there. Because you've got these flaps here, it makes sure that you've got room. Okay, so if you're planning on making your own folios and designing your own, just make sure you take into consideration that if you're adding flips, you need extra gussets if you've got, you know, things going on here, otherwise it won't close and it won't lay flat. Alright, so that's that bit done. So that is attached to the back here. Now you're not going to see that join because it's going to be covered over with something else. Alright, so you can see already that this flap is holding these down, the weight of it. Alright, so now we're going to make the little pocket that's going to stick on here, which is those 2 pieces. We've also got this bottom pocket which goes in here, doesn't it? So let's do that. So I'm just going to move my bottom fold out of the way. So we've got the bottom pocket here. It says page 3 bottom pocket in the cutting guide. So let's just get this one done, and then that's all that bit done. Okay, fold and burnish. You will have mitered your corners, cutting across the X like I've shown you previously. Okay, I've already done mine to try and save time. You just want to make sure they're not overlapping. You definitely don't want any bulk here. Definitely not. Okay. Let me just trim that one ever so slightly. That's perfect. Okay. Give it an extra squeeze. Like so. Remove your tape. Undo that one, get off, and that one. Okay, and then this is going to line up along the bottom edge. Now this one is the same width, it's the same width as this bottom panel, so you want to line it up along the bottom and you want to centralise it with that flip, so that when the flip's up you don't see any of the pocket, it's all the same width, okay? So that's that bit done. Right, so we're on to the pocket that's going to attach on here now. So you've got 2 pieces for that. You've got one long piece with just a, I think is it, have a look, page 3, envelope pocket, first piece, so it's 9.5 by, so we've scored it at 2.5. Okay, that's all we've done. You don't need any tape on this one. So we've scored it at 2.5, so all you want to do is fold that over. Now at this point, decide if you want to round your corners or not. Okay, I think I did on mine, although you can do it after. So that's that. And then on this section here, you've got your 3 1/2-inch score marks. You're going to mitre across the bottom where the score marks join each other, as I've shown you. And then you just want to fold and burnish. Make sure that when you're cutting into, because you're going to need to use 12 by 12 cardstock. Make sure when you're cutting into your cardstock that you're making piles for your offcuts. You want large pieces and small pieces, and make sure, I think I said this in the first video, make sure you check your pile of large offcuts before you cut into a new sheet of 12 by 12, because there really shouldn't be loads of waste on this if you think carefully before you cut. Okay, and use up your offcuts as well. Okay, so my mitring's getting a little bit better. That one's perfect. I don't need to trim any off. So I just remove the tape. Dun, 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 dun. So, flat on the deck, this is your flap, so this is going to lay over the top and it should line up perfectly. So again, start at one corner and then go across to the other corner, and then it should just literally, if you've got it straight, Amanda, which I've not got mine straight, there we go, that's better. It should just line up on top of each other, and there's your pocket. Okay, I haven't made a closure for mine yet. I think I might do a policy one, but you can add that after. There's loads of different ways of making closures after. I've avoided using magnets because I think if you're a beginner you might not have magnets. Okay, so then what I will say with this one is don't glue it on just yet. Okay, put this to one side, but when you glue it on, you just want to glue on 3 sides. So you turn it over and you just glue there and there and there. Well, it'll be the other way, there, there and there. No, that way. So you glue there, there and there, but on the back, not the whole of it. And the reason being that then when that turns over, then that becomes a little tuck spot. But you want to glue this on after you've layered your paper, okay? Because you want to layer that with paper, then glue that on. So we're not attaching that just now. All right, are you with me? So we're just going to leave that there. So let me show you mine. Yeah, so it's going to attach like so, but you want to layer your paper before you attach your pocket. So now we're on to the final page. So page 4 is quite easy. It's just an envelope, okay? And that is just made from 2 pieces. So the first piece here, this is the long section, the long part. Well, they're both the same, but this one's got extra score marks at each side, okay? So we've cut across the X, and we're going to fold and burnish those score marks. Give it a good squeeze. And you can, I'm getting better at this mitering. I'm not having to trim as often. I just need to trim a right little bit off there. I think it's something that just comes with practice, to be honest. So you kind of get to know by eye exactly which angle to cut it at. If you've made loads of folios and things before, you'll get it right every time. If you're new, then just adjust as you go, it's fine. Remove your tape. We're nearly there, folks, we're nearly there. We've nearly made our folio. Oh, let me know what you think in the comments if you were able to follow it. I don't mind answering any questions if anybody's confused. And when we've just done this bit, I've just got a few little things that I want to tell you before I leave you. Right, so this one, so this is the page. We're going to attach it to the, where it folds, to the, essentially what you might call the binding side rather than the edge. What you want to do though is you want to leave a tiny space. Don't go right up against the edge, okay? But you want to go edge to edge, all right, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to line it up. I'm actually leaving about 1/8 of an inch there, okay? Don't leave more than 1/8 of an inch or else it'll look weird for when you layer your paper, okay? So I'm leaving a small gap there so that when it folds like that, it's not catching and it's not in the way and it will lay flat, okay? Otherwise it won't lay flat. All right, so that's that bit done. So now all we need to do is attach, that's our page 3 envelope. Get back in there. So this is our flap. So again, at this point, you come round your corners if you want. You can do it afterwards, it's up to you. You don't have to decide at this point. You've got your 1/2 inch score mark there. We have tapered. We're just going to fold on that score line like so. Give it a good press. Remove the tape. And I'm sure by now you've figured out that this is going to go on this edge here. So it's going to lay right on top of where you added this flap, okay? And then you're going to line with paper inside when you come to decorate, so it will all be lovely and tidy, okay? So you just need to start at one corner. Okay, start at one corner. If you get your corners flush and your edge, first edge and your corner flush, then the rest should follow. If you go slowly wins the race, slowly and carefully, and that's your envelope flap, okay? And it's a lovely deep envelope. So there you go, you've completed your first folio. That is your base done. Now, just one question I wanted to answer. One lady said, are we wrapping it with paper? We don't need to wrap it with paper. When we made it, we folded over the edges with a 1/2 inch all the way around, and we've got the pockets at the side to strengthen our cover, okay? So all we're going to do now is mat and layer. So when you're matting and layering, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on all of the matting and layering. I might do one for decorating. So when you're matting and layering, all you need to do is measure your size, okay? So for example, this is, what is it, 5 by 8 1/4. So you get 5 by 8 1/4, and then you just cut it 1/4 of an inch shorter on the width and 1/4 of an inch shorter on the height. So this is 5 by 8 1/4. So I'd cut my paper to 4 3/4 by 8. That then leaves you a 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, and you do the same thing on everything. The only time you deviate from that is when you're layering your gusset and your spine. You might just want to go a little bit over that, okay, just so that it just is a bit more pleasing on the eye. By the time you have layered all of this with your patterned paper, whichever you choose to use, that will have added even more strength. It is lovely and sturdy, okay? So there you go. I hope that those tutorials have helped you if you're a beginner at folios to make your own and see just how easy it is. And now all you've got to do is decorate it. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Let me know what you think, and I might come up with another one. Bye for now.